Granollers will begin.
And that's a shot that Paes didn't hit very well against Moreira Verdasco. That short chip, he pulled Granollers into the net on his terms. It's a good sign for Leander Paes. He wasn't able to establish that shot at all in the previous match. That's just part and parcel with playing Leander Paes. You expect him to go at you. Everybody knows that. It's an intimidating tactic that Paes uses, but it's all part of the game. What it effectively does is it puts you on your heels a little bit. Makes you move backwards when you ideally want to be moving forward in tennis. And it also baits you into going at Leander Paes when you have an easy ball, and he's got some of the fastest hands in the world. He wants that. He wants a chance to stay alive in points. And that's what I'm talking about, just that variety of volley. Not trying to use pace to hit past the Spaniards, but instead using field shots. This sort of volley, slicing the ball off the side of the court.
When you look at it, Granollers and Lopez played 3 times the amount of events this year than their opponents today. Only played 7 events, Paes and Stepanek. Granollers and Lopez having played 23. Only 2 pairs in the top 20 played more. Gonzalez and Lipsky played 28, and Jamie Murray and John Paes played 25 together. So those in the top 20. Although slightly misleading, isn't it? Because as we say, it's been a year, it's been seen pairs fracture a lot. So the numbers that have been accumulated in terms of staying together are pretty limited.
Well, it's just a good sign for Paes and Stepanek, the fact that they're getting balls in play. They didn't win a point on the Moreira Verdasco serve in the entire first set, apart from a double fault. They're down 40-30 in this game, but they're starting out points. They're getting returns in play. That bodes well for their chances today.
So from 15-30, they'll be delighted to have come through that game. As the Spaniards score first here.
And that's the sort of miss you often see against a team that serves and stays back. Stepanek is hitting it and trying to run into the net. He's sort of thinking about what's coming after the return. You don't, when you play a team that serve volleys, you're not thinking about that. You just isolate the returner serve. And that's where these teams that serve and stay back have caused doubles players problems. A lot of players prefer a target. When somebody serves and stays back, you don't have as big of a target.
30 long. Out. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that was an overrule for Carlos Bernardes. Incorrect one at that.
40 long. Game.
Such good vision, as always, from the Paes in the forecourt.
1 game on. Mark Lopez to serve.
I was talking earlier in the week with Paes about Martina Navratilova, and of course the comparisons with Martina. Of course, she won a Grand Slam age 49. And you kind of think the way he's talking, he still believes he can still be out there at 49. But as we've said, with the way the doubles format is, physically, it's not too tough, really. I mean, you're playing, of course, the travel is and everything else that goes with that. But if you manage your schedule, as Ash was saying, you're playing probably an hour and a half every other day, probably for the first 4 or 5 days of an event, and then it's not that demanding, really, is it?
No, an hour and a half max.
Out. Mr. Paes is found the call at the right baseline.
Well, Stepanek did everything right, and that's what I mean by his skill set really matching up well. He's able to transition into the net very easily. Got the volley he wanted, just overcooked it a little bit. Because he takes the ball early, doesn't have very much distance to travel to get into the net.
Yeah, she doesn't have the pace, Lopez, that Verdasco does for the forehand. That's the point you were making. They play in a similar way, but in terms of the firepower, there's no doubt that Verdasco and Moreira, to be fair, hit the ball a harder and heavier ball than these two.
And that's one of the reasons why Lopez and Granollers have lost 7 consecutive times to Verdasco and Moreira. They just get overpowered. It's a bad matchup.
Good early signs here for Paes and Stepanek.
15-40.
And just to build on that point, Nick, so Paes and Stepanek aren't as intimidated by the ground strokes from Mark Lopez. That's one of the reasons why they're making a lot of returns. They're not worried about a forehand coming at them at 120 miles an hour off the next shot.
30-40. Signing point, receiver's choice.
I've seen a few times this week. If you don't take your chances sometimes early in a set, it can hurt you.
Yeah, and Stepanek, he hasn't been clutch this week as far as returning is concerned. They were just 1 of 11 on break points in their first match. And having said that, they still got through it.
Big battle ensuing here. It's Got it.
Yeah.
The Spaniards will be delighted with that from 15-40. That's a bit of a body blow for...
Lot 15.
First point they dropped on serve. Both of Leander's parents were Olympians. His father was a bronze medalist in the Olympics in '72. His mother was just why his mother was actually a basketball player as well. It was in the '72 Olympics.
He's a superstar in India, no question about that. He's been given the Padma Shri Award.
And there's Sanjay. Travels most weeks, doesn't he, with Leander?
Paes is on the call at the left baseline. The ball was called out.
Paes wasn't happy, but it was a good call.
Call signs. 15-14.
And here's a chance now
Paes and Stepanek have one chance.
for Granollers and Lopez.
And that's the safest place to volley is the Marcel Granuller's backhand. It's not nearly as dangerous. It's a very short backswing, which makes it difficult for him to generate power.
And they were both covering the wide one and got stung down the middle.
Deciding point.
Something the Spaniards did so well last year was just defend and steal points. But on that occasion, Stepanek, a good overhead, used his feet well, hit up nicely, jumped up to get to that.
So both teams missed their opportunity to get a head start.
Paes just getting enough on that volley to make it difficult for Mike Lopez to skip around and really unload on a forehand.
It's the only way this group really gets very complicated, and we start going down to a percentage of games won. There is really only one scenario where that could happen. Super recovery, and that is if Marrero and Verdasco beat Paes and Suarez in 2 sets tonight, and Granollers and Lopez defeat Paes and Stepanek in 3 sets. That's the only way that this group will be determined by a percentage of games won.
Marcel Granuller's, he mixes up serving and volleying, serving and staying back, and that makes it even more challenging because you're really quite sure how to measure your return depth-wise. Good volley from Granollers. He sometimes can overswing on forehand volleys, but that occasion just used his feet nicely, got to the ball, good firm wrist, Ball out in front. Granollers is being forced to work very hard as far as picking up volleys. Mark Lopez is usually pretty good at moving around the net, getting his racket on balls and helping out. Yet to really see that in this match.
That's not a matchup that Granollers wants to be involved in.
And hitting backhands with Paes and Stepanek at the net. That's not going to work out very well for Marcel Granollers.
So for the third game in a row, we have breakpoint chances here. They've got it. Bad move from Granollers. Stepanek and Paes were all over it. And it's 3-2, the first break of the match. Well, every day you come here almost feels like a Grand Slam final. Such is the quality of the matches on offer. Each and every session really is that good, this tournament. As we always say, it's the very best of the year. Singles and doubles. Paes and Stepanek may not have played that much this year, but they've made it happen when they have.
First service.
Stepanek, of course, began this year with an injury. And after the US Open, after this duo won the Grand Slam there, won the US Open, Stepanek focused primarily on singles, playing some challenges in Europe when Paes went to Asia and played a little with Danny Nestor. Because they won the US Open, they secured a spot here in London, even though they only qualified 7th. In case people are wondering how they can have the confidence to not play an event after the US Open, it's due to the fact that you get exemption if you win a Grand Slam, an automatic bid for the World Tour Finals.
Mr. Lopez on the call at the right. Yes, align the ball, Scorpion. Second serve.
Interesting, as you always talk to me about Stepanek's volleys, he's not a particularly aggressive volleyer, is he? But when there is an opening, like here, a couple of volleys, not doing much with that volley, is he particularly? Just keeping a good length.
Yeah, it took him 3 volleys before he got aggressive enough. And he used his feet. You could see him closing. But because Granollers and Lopez haven't really established a lob yet, topspin lob, and Paes and Stepanek are continuing to move forward and shut the net down. Yeah, Stepanek almost prefers a target when he's volleying, so the fact that Mark Lopez was up then, it gave Stepanek a target. He came in, put the first volley straight at Mark Lopez's ankle and extracted the error.
Ball 2-15.
Lopez and Granollers came out of the tunnel so relaxed, all smiles. It was clear they wanted to enjoy this, but frustrations are growing. Mark Lopez is not too happy right now with the way things are playing out.
40-13.
Second double for this pair.
Of this game as well. Typically, when the Spaniards are playing well, they don't give you anything. You can ill afford to give away half a service break, but Granollers and Lopez haven't been able to string anything together yet this game.
Such good skills again from the Paes.
Stepanek.
And he extends his team's leads.
Yeah, where we saw Stepanek take a few volleys early in this game to do something, Paes is so aggressive. He looks to finish the point with his first volley, first opportunity. That wasn't a bad shot the Spaniards hit. Paes so good at just finding space on the court.
Looking for the lob, wasn't he? Something that happened yesterday or a couple of days ago as well. Stepanek was already retreating.
And this is the difference between the Moreira-Verdasco matchup. Mark Lopez, as good as his forehand is, just doesn't have the firepower to really hit through the Spaniards. He has to hit through Stepanek Paes. He has to hit around them. Whereas Moreira-Verdasco were flat out just beating Paes Stepanek for pace. And because Mark Lopez and Granollers are having to work so hard on serve, it's on the net man to start trying to poach, play get involved, get his racket on balls, something that Granollers and Lopez haven't been able to do. There's been no poaching. It's just whoever's serving is having to hit multiple shots to win points. And that's also a credit to how well Stepanek and Paes are returning. The fact that they're able to get the ball around the net man.
$30-15.
And again, it's that early return from Stepanek that just got the ball back on Mark Lopez a fraction faster. He wasn't able to skip around and hit a forehand.
That's dominating again. Stepanek and Paes are just starting to spread the wings here. Beautiful cover.
Not just the move and the quality of athleticism and stretch, but the actual shot. I mean, full stretch. He knew where Mark Lopez was. He knew the return had pushed Lopez behind the baseline, and there was an opportunity there for a short volley. And that's a good move. That's forcing Stepanek to change his shot and extracting an error. Doubles is about recognizing sort of what's happening. And in this match so far, Lopez and Granollers serving and staying back and hitting isn't working. So Netman has to take it upon himself to win some points.
How good was that? Something out of nothing. And they keep themselves in the set. 4-3. Now, this was a little bit earlier on in the warm-up can see here, look on the right-hand side there in the blue, that's Marcel Granollers. And looks as though things were a bit nasty there, but you'll subsequently find out that he was having a bit of a laugh, because gets up, pretends he's been hurt. And he's okay.
Well, I hope that Max Muni and Horia Takao weren't there to see that. That's a little cruel if that's the case. First alternates.
That's true.
Time.
So that was a super shot from Marc Lopez. Keeps his team in the set. And just the one break still here. But it's been 7 games really where Paes and Stepanek have looked on top of things.
And they're, more importantly, they're playing this match on their terms. They're getting the shots and the situations that really serve them well, that they want.
15 long. Third long. Ball, please.
Again, just a variety of volley. Short, deep, bringing Granollers forward, getting the ball sort of away from the Marc Lopez forehand.
Four to 15.
That's good coverage from Granollers.
It was a clever lob that really sets this up. Sees Stepanek move to the middle, knows there's an opportunity, and this is a good volley. No swing at all. Granollers just moving forward, meeting the ball, putting it in the right spot.
That'll be encouraging.
Yeah, not as much on that serve from Paes. Paes has served well today, but
Receiver's choice.
that serve, it took a lot off, and Granollers just read it, met the ball nicely.
Ladies and gentlemen, please turn the volume of your voices a little bit down, please. Thank you, especially at the top. Thank you.
So the deciding point here could really determine the outcome of this set. Paes stays strong.
Paes.
It's 5-3.
Stepanek. Stepanek leads by 5 games to 3.
Lopez just not doing enough with those shots and probably picking the wrong man as well, going with Leander Paes rather than Stepanek. As good as Stepanek volleys, he's not nearly as dangerous or as aggressive a volley as Leander Paes.
Oh, doesn't get any better than that. That is just clutch. That's what he's all about. Inch perfect return.
Lopez.
Yeah, good chip return, forcing Granollers to volley up, and then Paes has got a lot of variety with that forehand. It's such a weapon. You've got to volley to Leander Paes' backhand. But when you serve to his backhand, it makes it difficult then to volley to his backhand.
Four to 15.
So not to be for Paes and Stepanek. And Lopez will make them work for this, though. It's been a cagey set. Fairly tense at times.
Stepanek lead by 5 games.
Number 7 seeds who lead at 5-4.
Don't forget to get your exclusive official merchandise from this year's thrilling Barclays ATP World Tour Finals. All of our official merchandise stores in the foyer.
Base travel is probably a little beyond him, Ash, although he might not admit to that.
No, I doubt he would.
It wasn't a cheap affair, that. £45 million the country's spending on that. A little less at stake here. Stepanek to serve for the set.
15 long.
He served well, Stepanek, apart from a couple of doubles, but that serve was just dead accurate, straight at Granollers' left hip, jamming him completely.
Third long.
See, it's defending serve nicely. Paes and Stepanek look better than their opponents. Only marginal, but enough. Quite a get from Mark Lopez, but again the brilliance of Paes there for all to see.
4 till out.
And after 37 minutes, it has given them 4 set points. That'll do. Good set of tennis from Paes and Stepanek. And they're going to apply some pressure, it seems. They've taken it 6-4.
By 6 games.
Well, a good move from Paes. moving forward and across. That's been missing. It's really the first time that Lopez or Granollers has been able to intercept a return. The netman finally getting involved, something that typically Mark Lopez does very well.
It's a little fine, so it was good enough.
Signing point. Receiver.
This man with his racket up again as he looks to get his team off to a good start in the second set. Encouragement from his partner.
Again.
Doesn't do any good though. It's Granollers' hold. Pretty good when they were together, weren't they? Do you see them being able to string it together again?
Well, it all depends on your definition of stringing together. The 3 years they played, they finished first in the world, second, and they were one of the teams that really had the Bryans in a bit of a twist. They beat the Bryans, I believe, 4 or 5 consecutive times and had them baffled so much that the Bryans actually switched sides and found success doing that. Were able to beat Nestor and Zivanic in the final of the Australian Open. But I expect the teams that we've seen this year, Dodig, Mello, Suarez, Paes, for them to continue to improve.
Parner and Qureshi are going to bat together again, and you'd have thought with their history they should play well together again.
Yeah. They're both excellent players, and we've seen them do well together. They were finalists at the US Open. Lindstedt playing with Jürgen Meltzer. That'll be a dangerous team. Roger Takao. I expect them to have a big year. Again, that's the shot that Granollers isn't very comfortable generating, so he tried to hit an angle winner and missed it. Paes had a lot of success with that drop volley today.
Just keeps the volley so low, didn't he, Paes? Really difficult. The lob was probably the right shot, but he's hitting it from his ankles.
And he gets it to Mark Lopez's backhand. A good serve, stretching Lopez to the forehand, which then makes it a lot easier to volley to his backhand. Pulls Mark Lopez to the middle of the court with the serve, which opens up the cross-court volley to his backhand. That's just easy pickings from Leander Paes. Not enough pace and not enough location. And that, if you don't tick those boxes, it's going to be a long afternoon with Leander Paes on the receiving end of those balls. That's a better forehand from Lopez. The difference was Paes having to stretch. Ball not coming straight to him.
Back-to-back, very potent forehands from Lopez. And that'll be encouraging for him.
30-15.
There's Team Spain in the corner. As Carlos Moore has been here a couple of times, watching on as well. Established Davis Cup team, these two now, but under threat.
Stepanek's ball is very linear, the trajectory, it's very flat, so it gets on you just a fraction quicker. Got the ball back to Mark Lopez in a hurry. As a result, got the shank return.
Frustration, because we've seen this week a couple of times, haven't we? One set in the bag, looks as though one team's going to get on top, and then just slowly the second set progresses and suddenly there's a change. Paes knows that, just to stay on top of this team. They can't do it. Stepanek, who hasn't returned that well all week in truth, fails to find the mark again. 2-1 here. Sets, though, for Paes and Stepanek.
Now in its fourth year, the Barclays Ball Kids program has involved over 6,000 youngsters.
We'll get an upgrade in the summer of 2015. They'll go from 250s to 500s. Well, Haller and Queens, deservedly so. Ash?
Yeah, and based on the quality of the field, they should be 500s. They're two of the stronger tournaments on the year. Everybody wants to play them. Phenomenal events.
Yes, no events will be downgraded. It'll just be 2 additional events that are added to the 500 calendar.
That's a good play from Granollers. Showing some of this caginess that we've come to expect. Taking this ball nice and early, short backswing, following it forward. Paes and Stepanek haven't been troubled with the first volley because there hasn't been a net man that they've been worried about poaching.
Can you believe it? Paes had just anticipated the ball was going long. He totally switched off and it found the line.
It's a little unfortunate because Saw Mark Lopez's eyes light up. He was going to get a look at a pretty routine forehand.
Second service.
That was an aggressive second serve from Stepanek. As far as the target was concerned, went right for the tee.
Of the week so far, and having done so well, Paes and Stepanek, to defend the net, they throw it away. Incredible tennis.
Yeah, this is more of what we saw from Granollers Lopez last year. They're so hard to win the point against. They make you hit so many additional shots. Just came down a little bit too early on that overhead Stepanek. See what it means. It hasn't been a good week for Lopez and Granollers. They haven't found a lot to get excited about. But that point was certainly one of the few moments.
Tremendous hustle. That will give them a lift, and you can see there Lopez moving again. And confidence is a funny old thing, isn't it? Your scoreboard starts to tick in your favour. You just start to feel a little better about yourself. You feel a bit bigger on the court. You want to make it happen. Again, all of a sudden there's just a change, a shift in energy from one side of the net to the other.
Yeah, and again, Mark Lopez was there. He was in a position to put that volley away. He didn't have to because the return was long. Granollers has a big forehand. I don't think he needs to be trying that sort of angle. That's more Mark Lopez. Granollers has the ability to hit through opponents with his forehand.
Stepanek finds perfect length.
30 Bolton.
Now there's another change.
Signing point, receiver's choice.
Mark Lopez was bouncing around. He was all over the place the first couple of points. He needs to get that mindset back. Look to try and get his racket on this ball. Do his partner a favour.
That's a good move from Marc Lopez, because he left a gaping hole down the line, but he makes it happen. 30 wins, 23 losses this year for Granollers and Lopez. That's the numbers for them in 2013. Been a bit subdued this week, but perhaps now things will just start to get going for them. Intriguing battle. Just that one final they made in Cincinnati in the summer where they lost to the Bryans.
Most players sort of have a tipping point shot where if they're hitting a shot well, everything else feeds off it. And for Marc Lopez, it's the lob.
Ball too long. Game, Paes. Stepanek,
quick hold.
new balls, please.
Paes. 14 times this man has had a go at this event. And of course, in singles, if you relate that to singles, Agassi holds the record in singles. 14 different appearances at the World Tour Finals. So 4 times a runner-up. Leander.
Long.
Well, they'll give you nightmares, won't they, when these two are at their most effective. Yeah, great hustle. And Stepanek, in the end, just changing it up.
15 all.
What footwork from Marc Lopez to be able to get over to that return. Run around and hit a forehand off that shot. That takes some pretty nifty feet.
Genius from Paes again, and the entertainment value of this match continues to rise. Great tennis.
But this is where Granollers should have got involved with the net earlier in this rally when Mark Lopez was hitting. Again, going at the wrong guy. Paes so dangerous. It's his 4th or 5th drop volley winner this match off the backhand.
Interesting time violation. So what you're saying, Ash, is when Lopez is hitting forehands, Granollers has got to get in.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they're defending the net. They're not hitting attacking volleys.
No. Well, that's when you know Leander Paes is feeling, because he doesn't hit over his backhand very often. It's a chip 19 out of 20 times. You have to wonder why when you see a shot like that. He made that look very simple.
They're way ahead in the points tally in this match, and they're 1 from 9 on break points. Here's some more. Oh, thank you very much, Mark Lopez.
Signing point, receiver strikes.
That's when, if you pay Stepanek, you can't do much. You just got to say too good, force your opponent to hit that again.
Paes' smile.
Yeah, he wasn't even really going. He still got beat.
Another chance. Stepanek's had a few today. Missed it. Lopez's forehand's been hot, but not there. And we're back on serve in set enough to regroup. They're the defending champions on the very edge of elimination here.
Long.
His vision and his ability to pull off shots like that are remarkable.
Well, he's changed his volleys because he's playing a team that's 2 back, and the space is in the 4th court. And that's where Leander Paes is volleying.
Lopez is out of nightmares here.
Ball to long.
His temper is fraying. Disrupts a bit of salt in the wounds. Another love game. And we're back level.
4 games on. Lifting off.
Again, Paes stepping. They're doing such a good job of just getting to the net quickly. A return. They're not getting caught in exchanges from the back of the court.
Take 15. 4-2-15.
That's a much more assertive point from Lopez. It's regroup time. 3 games on the trot they've lost. Got to get back to that aggressive, positive mindset. Makes it all that much harder to do to move at the net when your opponent is just beating you down the line. Lopez has got to do it. He's got to help out Granollers.
Yep, Stepanek. Paes, should I say, went extremely early there, but Granollers did well not to be distracted.
Granollers, Lopez
5-4 in the second.
The starting season finale. The Barclays ATP World Tour Finals. Which is a chance to win an amazing prize. You win 2 tickets to Monday's event.
Robert Paes is in the house. Former Arsenal player, been an Arsenal theme this week. Lots of Arsenal players have come to enjoy the tennis. Been enjoying their football as well this year, the Gunners. In fact, Paes and Stepanek were at Chelsea the other night. They were watching the football along with Djokovic and Rafa. Chelsea in the Champions League.
We haven't seen much of that either. That's a
15
staple of Mark Lopez's game, running around, hitting forehands off second serves, and that's more sort of an indication of how well Paes and Stepanek have served, though. They've hit a lot of T second serves and held Mark Lopez honest.
Stepanek looks around almost in complete astonishment he's missed the volley. He just caught it a bit late, didn't he?
That's an outrageous half volley from Paes to be able to get it to that spot. Because anything less than that, Mark Lopez was ready to unload on a forehand. He knew exactly what he wanted to do, and he just couldn't get there in time.
Tough shot to pull off from there.
I said a couple of games ago, the tipping point shot for Mark Lopez is the lob. When that's working, everything's working, and it hasn't really worked. It hasn't been effective for him.
Extraordinary volley from Paes. So much going on in that exchange, and yet a piece of genius to finish it off.
Yeah, that shot from Mark Lopez was exquisite. Both really were. Mark Lopez ends up on the ground. good run from Granollers. But look at Mark Lopez. He's enjoying, even if he was on the wrong end of that rally, you can't help but respect the skills that were on display from everybody.
That's a great reaction.
15 long.
Go through the list of doubles players, of course, fantastic doubles players, all-time great volleyers. There's no doubt that Paes has got to be right up there, isn't he? I think perhaps if Stepanek Berg would probably be in that conversation, wouldn't he, as well? Best volley you played against, Ash, or hit with, or someone you just, in terms of the volleying skills that was so good?
15 all.
Todd Woodbridge.
Yeah. Sadly, the art of volleying, as we've all known, is taking a bit of a hit, really, in this day and age.
Out. 30-15.
Do you think it's taut enough, or do you think it's just the surface, the nature of the surface?
Well, yeah, there's no one factor. It's the game has changed. It's technology with strings, athleticism. It's made it a lot more difficult just to come to the net sort of on neutral terms. A good move here from Barclays. Just haven't seen enough of this sort of move. The better the Spaniards play, the more they move at the net. And that's probably the case for most doubles teams.
Again. Lopez.
I think he's all his own way with his serve today, Mark Lopez. This is a long affair. Nearly an hour and a half already. And the match tiebreak, perhaps, to add into the equation as well. 6-5. Take us into the second set tiebreak.
15 long. $30-15.
Tried to move in, tried to be aggressive, but tough half volley.
15. Game. Paes. Stepanek.
So into the tiebreak we go.
6 games on
As far
second
as
set.
Paes and Stepanek go.
Both teams
They
receive
do
one
win
additional
this
time.
breaker. They need to win this breaker to make sure they apply some pressure this evening, of course, because Paes and Suarez do win tonight regardless, 2 or 3 sets. If they drop a set, Stepanek and Paes and Suarez can eliminate them by winning, regardless of the score. But, as I was saying, if Paes and Stepanek win in 2,
Granollers,
then
Lopez.
it means that Paes and Suarez must win in 2 tonight.
Granollers, Lopez.
A couple of rare volley errors. Paes, Stepanek. Again, that lob just not doing enough. I mean, it wasn't an easy shot by any stretch. But
2-1. Granollers, Lopez.
when Lopez is just at his best, the racket's like a wand. He's doing a lot with this forehand and then dipping the lob, getting the lob over his opponent's heads, and he just hasn't been able to find that shot tonight.
That's first service.
That sort of return from Stepanek, that went straight through the middle of the court, and that's a ball when Granollers is playing his best, he would pick that off. But you highlighted it, Nick, when confidence, it often reveals itself in these little subtle intricacies that you don't even pick up as a player, but movement. When you're playing well, feeling well, you're a lot more athletic, you're getting your racket on more balls without even realizing it. That's the sort of move that the Spaniards, they're going to need in this tiebreak, in the match tiebreak, and if they're to do any damage in this tournament moving forward, if they do qualify, they need to add that aspect of their game. It's too big of an ask for these guys, Mark Lopez, to hit 100-mile-an-hour serves and win point after point from the back of the court. There has to be that seed of doubt from the netman that the cross-court shots aren't open.
Vamos towards his partner. Is he trying to track that one down? But even that was beyond the speed of Lopez. 3 apiece. Not got a good record this year in the match tiebreaks. For the Spaniards, 3 wins and 8 defeats they have had. And things have got very tight. So they will hope that they can at least get themselves involved in one.
First service.
just can't believe it. That's as easy of a shot for him, just because of his skill level as it gets. Forehands just straight through the middle of the court, low part of the net, a lot of court to hit into, no angle.
And it was a shot he was cutting Paes up with last year. Here, we saw it time and time again.
If you want to consider yourself part of the elite, you have to figure out a way to work through these matches, to find a way to win when you're not firing on all cylinders.
Lopez just grabs a couple of balls. It's going to just shadow a couple of returns here, I suspect.
Yeah, and this is, he does well there, Mark Lopez, because that was in an awkward spot. You see him do a little matrix maneuver to get out of the way and create a little bit of space.
That was a fascinating rally, wasn't it? Paes and Stepanek did brilliantly just to keep it away from the Spaniards' forehands.
5-all.
Both guys using their strengths well. Oh, how's that for a return?
5.
At the most critical of moments, Leander Paes, who's been, well, impenetrable really for the most part, fails to pick up a half volley. And we've got a set point for the defending champions. It's going to go wide. And would you believe it? Yet again this week, we split the first two sets. And it'll be Stepanek to start.
Paes, Stepanek.
Well, it's entertaining. It's a good contrast. It's two very good volleys against two very good hitters from the back of the court. It's just what's going to prevail. The forehands of the Spaniards or the excellent volleys from Paes Stepanek. But again, the Spaniards, they need to do their part serving, get active in the net, help out. It's too hard for them to continue to win points from the back of the court on their serve as well.
Didn't hit the lob hard enough, did he? And the wrong part of the court as well.
2-0.
Double fail
Paes,
there.
Stepanek.
didn't move it. Lopez did well because that was going right at his chest.
Stepanek.
Himself out of trouble. Keeping the racket out in front, that's the key, isn't it? Doesn't matter how ugly the volley looks, if you keep your racket out there, you're going to have a good chance. The danger if you do run around that forehand, you leave a lot of court open.
Paes, Stepanek.
Yeah, it was a good enough second serve, good enough angle where it took Lopez way out of court, and then Paes pretty good at sticking volleys into an open court.
Service.
But it shows aggressive intent from Mark Lopez. I don't mind seeing him do that. He took the return on, tried to play it on his terms, utilizing his strength, which is his forehand return. As a server, even though Paes won that point, you don't enjoy seeing Mark Lopez skip around and hit forehands off second serves. You don't want that happening.
Gift.
Stepanek, we've highlighted this a couple of times during this event, during last year. His volleys will go before Leander Paes. He's the man that can be prone to nerves a little more than Leander Paes. And we're being critical, of course, Stepanek. It's a hard thing to say when you've won 2 Grand Slams in the last 2 years, but he does have a tendency to steer volleys in very tight moments. More like it from the Spaniards.
3-all.
Mark Lopez is so quick from the back of the court that he could probably get over and cover Granollers if Stepanek does go down his line. That's the unpredictable element that the Spaniards utilize that really makes them a nightmare to play. You're not just concerned about Mark Lopez hitting forehands from the back, you've also got a net man faking and poaching, distracting you. And it also lends itself to that, getting errors.
4-3.
You force your opponents to take a more aggressive approach. You turn over the high part of the net, less court to hit into. That's the net man's job. And if Granollers and Lopez, if they watch tape of last year when they won this tournament, they'd see that they were way more reactive at the net.
Oh, blistering return. And they've got the mini break.
5-4.
Stepanek just misses his spot slightly. See, Granollers just came straight into his wheelhouse. Didn't have to move at all. For the first time in this match, the Spaniards were the lead.
Oh, smart volleying. Granollers' initial volley was just perfect. But it just took Paes and Stepanek off their stride.
It put the ball down at Stepanek's feet because Stepanek was coming in hard, looking to volley. Any other sort of volley, and Stepanek probably would have been able to win the point. Beautiful touch from Marcel Granollers.
Recovery. And having been so dominant, Paes and Stepanek at the net, they get a little bit of their own medicine towards the end of this match.
This is outrageous. This shot here, full stretch defense, and then Granollers. But didn't back up. He took one step backwards, but then he stood his ground, ready to react. See if Mark Lopez has the conviction to run around and hit a forehand return again. There it is.
Well. Shot. His favourite shot. They hold a sizable advantage.
And that's a real winner's mentality when you factor in the fact that last time he did that, Paes was able to get in quickly and stick the volley through the middle of the court for a winner. But that's just backing yourself, having the self-belief to know that you're still going to play tennis on your terms. You're still going to look to hit your favorite shot. What a combination from Paes, deep and short. The backhand volley drop shot has been exquisite today. Deep, forcing your opponent back, then short. Seems very simple in principle, but it is far from that. The skills required are something special. For Granollers to continue to be active and try and get his racket on this return of Stepanek. Still a better way to lose a point from the Spaniards. They poached initially, got Mark Lopez running over, hitting forehands. That's making Stepanek Paes react a little bit more to what they were doing.
It took charge of the net, but it's Stepanek.
Yeah, and a backhand volley from Stepanek, that was a steer. That was not a stick volley. It was high enough for Stepanek to be aggressive and finish the point. And he did the opposite. He allowed Mark Lopez to unload on another forehand.
So our Leander Paes dreams once again here of winning the World Tour Finals. Going to go up in smoke. Not for certain, of course, that even if they lose today, they'll go out, but it's a distinct possibility. It's match points. There weren't too many places that Stepanek could put that ball. It was going to be awkward, but he found one of them.
It's cat and mouse. What an incredible lob from Mark Lopez. Stepanek up to the task, getting the ball down the feet of the Spaniards.
Latch first service.
Agony. Paes proves the man again. This is so fascinating. So intense, so much going on. Contrasting personalities, contrasting individuals. All aiming for one goal. And yet again, it's been a fantastic advert for the doubles game, regardless. Third match point.
Mr. Lopez challenge the call. At the left parcel line, the ball scored out. Second serve.
It's out, and the Spaniards record their first win of the week. The defending champions do keep themselves in the hunt.